These are the 20 accessories that you must have from day one with your new Model Y or Model 3. I've broken this up into 4 separate categories to make this easy to follow, easy to digest. And those categories include the essentials and convenience items. Those are items such as the center console trays that Tesla used to provide that no longer do. Those are things you're going to want from the very beginning. I've also got a category for protection. These are not like the big paint protection or huge dollar items, but these are things that are going to protect areas with high wear. So things like the screen, protecting that screen is really important, but there's some other really crucial areas that you might want to consider protecting for not a lot of money. Next, we're looking at storage and organization items. These are products that we can put in the car to enhance the existing space and make it even more useful for you. And then finally, the visual items. These are high impact, low dollar things that I think make the biggest impact on the look of the Model Y or the Model 3 for not a lot of money. And in fact, in some cases, it could probably save you $2,000 or so. So make sure you stick around to the end to see all of this today. I'm so excited to bring all this to you. Let's dive into the details right now. So starting off with the essentials and convenience category is the Spigen center console tray. This is a no-brainer. It is not the cheapest one out there. You can certainly get some that are cheaper, but this is very little extra money for a lot better product. Spigen makes some really awesome stuff. The center console is no exception. Has a really nice, smooth, rubbery texture that'll help keep things from sliding around, but also adds enhanced look to the center console. Following that up is the armrest tray. This is also from Spigen. This is made the same way that the center console tray is. It certainly complements the look of the center console tray. It's consistent and also, again, a much more thick material that is used on this. It's just a better quality item than some of the cheap stuff that's out there. Next is one of my favorite accessories, actually. I have this in all of our Teslas, and that is the MagBack wireless charger. This thing mounts right on the screen, and I have never had this thing fall off, but I use it literally every single time I drive. It does, of course, charge your phone while it's up there, but it puts your phone in a very convenient location while you're driving. I recommend this to everybody. This is one of my top accessories, the MagBack wireless charger. You've got to get this thing. It's not just well built, high quality, it's just super convenient. Next is an EV-Ject. If you don't know what an EV-Ject, this is a tool that can literally save your life. When you are at a supercharger and you are plugged in, you cannot put the vehicle in drive. You are stuck there. You're tethered to the supercharger. If something were to happen on the outside of the vehicle, like a homeless person came up and started keying your vehicle, there's nothing you can do. You are stuck there. But with an EV-Ject, you can simply hit unlock charge port from inside the vehicle, put the vehicle in drive. The device itself breaks in half and allows you to escape. Once you're in a safe location, you can remove the piece that's left in the car, and the piece that is left on the supercharger is just there to protect the handle from falling, so it prevents damage from Tesla's equipment. This is a no-brainer, and to complement that, Spigen does make a charging adapter door dock that will actually fit the EV-Ject quite nicely. Of course, it's made specifically for the J1772 adapter, but the EV-Ject has the same NACS connector on the end, so it also fits very nicely here. But what's nice about that, instead of it rolling around here in your door, it's now tucked away in the back in a nice location. And then this one is actually a little bit new. I've always put a sunshade in our Model Y, but I've always historically had a black sunshade, and it did let some light in, but it does definitely darken it up in there. The purpose is down here in Florida to reject a lot of that heat. This, however, is a light gray. It actually matches the headliner. And on top of that, what's different about this from the other ones I've seen is the way that these clips work on the edge. It actually has a little bit of a raised bevel on it so that it actually holds it tighter to the headliner than traditional sunshades I've seen to date. So this one is a no-brainer. It's not that expensive, but I really like the fact that it matches the headliner. Next, we're going to move on to protection. And the first and most obvious protection item is protecting that screen, that big expensive screen from scratches. This is no different than a cell phone. These things are easy to scratch, and if you were to damage this, it can be very, very expensive. The Spigen screen protector is one of the easiest installs of any screen protector I have seen. And not only is it easy to install, it puts it right where it needs to be. So there's no overhang anywhere on any corners. It is a no-brainer, super easy to install. Anybody can do it with this. And I think that they did a really nice job with packaging this thing in a way to make it not just easy to install, but to give you results that you're really gonna like. Next is seat back protectors. If you have kids, you've got to have these seat back protectors. This is a little bit different style than what I've done previously, and I kind of like the way that it mounts up to the back of these seats. It does hug really tight, so it's not very loose and flimsy like the other ones that I've had in the past. This one, I really like the way that it holds onto the seat. This is a no-brainer if you have kids in the back, because their feet, whether you like it or not, are going to continue to kick that seat back. There's nothing you can really do about it, so this will help you protect the back of your seats. After 50,000 miles in our 2021 Model Y, I found one unrealized wear area on the car, and it was actually in the back seats where the seat belt goes over that seat. This area can wear down pretty easily. I didn't know that until, like I said, 50,000 miles in. This area is susceptible to damage. And this is Spiegen's answer to that. These seatbelt guides, they're easy to install, and this will get that seatbelt off of that top corner where it's getting a lot of friction from being pulled out and put back in constantly. Plus, it'll allow that seatbelt to always be in the right spot for passengers to be able to find that seatbelt rather than reaching all the way around. This one, really good add. Of course, we have to talk about the shape of the Model Y, how it concaves down at the bottom. That's why mud flaps are so necessary. Our first Model Y, we actually did some damage to the paint because the front wheels would kick up rocks and all that stuff would kick up on the side of the car. Mud flaps are a must for a Model Y, regardless of what climate you live in. These particular ones are new. These ones are a lot thinner and they're a lot more flexible than mud flaps I've used in the past. What's nice about that is if you do run something over or you hit maybe a taller speed bump, these are just going to flex and they're going to go right back to where they are rather than break or bend. These are really easy to install just like all the other ones, and they actually give you all the tools you need, including a screwdriver, which is pretty cool. So I appreciate that. Not too expensive and definitely a good look. Now, Leather Shield is something that you can apply to the interior of your Model Y, and I've applied this to the interior of all of our Model Ys. I do this every year. So once a year, I reapply a new coat. What this does is add a protective layer to the seats from spills and stains and all kinds of stuff. It really just helps you maintain the inside a lot easier than the bare seats themselves. Now, the seats are pretty robust. It's hard to stain them anyways, but this is another layer that will actually help maintain that. I've done this from the very beginning and I didn't realize, but Test Bros actually offers this. So because of that, I can actually get you a discount. I have never been able to give this for a discount because it's always just been on Amazon and they're almost never on sale. When they are on sale, it's a couple of bucks. So you can get this directly from Test Bros now with a discount, which is really awesome. One bottle is going to be 2.5 applications. This has been the same every single bottle I have used. 2.5 applications is the exact use you get out of that 50 milliliters. Of course, most Teslas, with some exceptions, come with carpeted floor mats, and those are fine. Carpet is not nearly as robust as some of the all-weather mats out there. I have used 3D Max Spider floor mats from the very beginning, and they sell a complete kit. They sell just the front and back seats. They sell all kinds of sets here, and there are some cheaper alternatives, but the 3D Max Spider floor mats have held up tremendously. In fact, I'm actually recycling a set from our previous Model Y into this one. It looks like they're barely used. That's what's really nice about 3D Max Spider. High quality item, fits really well, and it's made to last, unlike some of the cheaper options out there. Of course, if you do have kids, having car seat protectors is a great idea because of all the Cheetos, the crayons, and everything else that they somehow drop behind that car seat. These are super inexpensive, easy install, just get them. It's that simple. And then finally, if you do end up getting upgraded wheels, whether it's a Model 3 or a Model Y, Magback makes these covers for it called rim case, and these protect you from curbing the wheels. What's nice is once you do actually damage them, you can just replace the number of pieces that were damaged. And these have been out for over a year at this point. They work really well. And the nice thing is when you put them on, you can't tell that they're there. They match really nicely and they fit really well. In addition, I noticed they just reduced the price by like $100. So it's now $149 for the set of these. And when you check out, if you can, make sure to add an extra set so that way you've got replacement pieces on hand should you need them. Next, we're moving on to the storage and organization category, which starts with car door organizers. These I have never purchased before, but I really like them. I put a lot of things in my doors and it just acts as general storage where things roll around in there. And in combination with the Spigen charger adapter door dock, this actually works with it. So it doesn't actually block the Spigen adapter dock, and it also gives you 3 separate cavities in there. So now you have a spot up front generally for drinks, which is nice. I use that all the time. And then this middle section where you can put some things that aren't going to fly around, and then the back section as well. It's just a great way to add a little bit of organization and protect that area if you're putting drinks in there in case of spills. Next, under-seat storage boxes. I have always had an under-seat storage box, but it's always been a fabric, kind of Velcroed together. For this time, I went ahead and went with a solid ABS plastic one. These are nice because they have a lid. You would think that these things would slide around if you hit the brakes really hard, and they actually don't. They just kind of sit in there. They fit perfectly and they don't move around, which is really nice. But this is a great place where you can put some extra items that you might want to have quick access to, an extension cord, whatever it may be. This is unused space, a big block of unused space, and has no impact on being able to lower the seat all the way. These are really nice. I really like the way that these ones look, fit, and feel. Another item that I have recently started using is rear trunk organizers. I had these in our last Model Y for a little over a year. I really enjoy these for 2 reasons. Number one, it still allows me to have these 2 side pockets in the back, but number 2, it adds a false floor. So it now matches with where the floor is on the back of the car anyways, and I can open and close these lids. So it's more of a compartmentalized section now. I can put things in there, cover them up, out of sight, out of mind. It doesn't look nearly as bad, but it also still allows me to utilize that space. And because it's made of a rubber material on the inside, it actually does add protection in case you put any fluids in there in case of a spill. And then finally, we're going to talk about the visual things, and these are equally important. I think this is probably the best bang for the buck that you can get, and it is wheel covers for your Gemini wheels. Or if you went with the Aero wheels for the Model 3, same thing. These things are generally under $200 for the set. They match really well, going from a pretty basic every Model Y look to something a little bit nicer. And on mine, I actually put 2 sets on. I'm still trying to decide which one I like the most. So on one side, I have their Blade set, which is made to look exactly like the induction wheels. I think it looks very close to the induction wheels, looks really nice, looks better than factory. And then on the other side, I have the turbine style, which is made to look like the upgraded 22-inch Model X wheels. This is a no-brainer, big impact, small dollar. And with that, of course, there is this wheel cover storage bag. It actually has these nice separators in it to keep everything from scratching up. Put your things in there, zip it up, and put it away in the garage somewhere. This is not all that expensive, but a nice way to at least hold on to the factory set in case you want to put those back on for any reason down the road. And then finally, window tint. The window tint that we got was from Tint World here in Orlando. Those guys are great. They were actually pretty reasonably priced, and I ended up going with the Expel XR Plus, which gives you 99% UV protection and the highest heat rejection possible. I think it's like 96% heat rejection, and in our case, we only did the front 2 doors, so it wasn't all that expensive, but man, getting rid of the fishbowl effect, blocking those windows out to match the factory tint in the back, totally worth it. And the heat rejection does actually work. I think that that also enhances the exterior look of the car tremendously. So there you have it. Those are the 20 items that you really want to look at having on day one, right at the beginning. That's my list. What did I miss? What is something that you have on your Model Y that you couldn't live without? These are my items. I hope that you enjoyed today's video, and I can't wait to catch you on the next one.